Hi everyone and welcome to my channel where I practice my English by answering some random questions or by talking about whatever comes to my mind. But in today's video, I'd like to answer a few exam speaking questions. So I do it in order to improve my English in hope that one day I will become a fluent speaker of this beautiful language. But for now, my English is, as you can see, it leaves a lot to be desired. But don't be discouraged, don't get discouraged, and keep on hard work. So, today's question is, under what circumstances would you? And in this section, there are 5 questions I'm going to answer. So, let's jump right into it. Under what circumstances would you walk out of a restaurant? It's pretty simple. If I go to a restaurant, I pay money for the high quality service, and if the service isn't good enough, I don't owe them anything. Let's assume that a waitress is rude or brusque, so I'm not going to give them a tip. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Or if I'm forced to wait for too long to get serviced, what's the point in staying in that restaurant? I pay money, I expect a good service in return. So if I don't get it, I just walk out and move on to the nearest restaurant. Alright, moving to the next one. Under what circumstances would you refuse a taxi? I'm not the sort of person that often uses a taxi, but there are some situations which I'm going to call a taxi. But under what circumstances would I refuse? If a driver of the taxi is drunk, I'm not going to risk my life. And some weird stuff sometimes happen, like a drunk driver. What's the point of taking the risk, right? Or if a taxi driver is foreigner and we can't communicate because he doesn't or she doesn't understand a word I'm saying to him. So if there is a miscommunication, as I've already said, there is no point. Just call for another taxi. And yeah, actually, in big cities, especially in the capital city of Poland, there is a big amount of foreign drivers, some black drivers or Hindi, yeah. Where was I going with that? Never mind. Oh, I remember now. All I want to say is that the amount of foreign drivers is getting higher and higher in Poland. It's weird, actually. Why do they choose to take up that job and not another one? Alright, moving to another question. Under what circumstances would you call the manager of a hotel? The same goes for the 2 previous questions. I pay money, I require a good service in return. So if something is off in a hotel room that I book, or let's say I book a room with a hot tub and the hot tub doesn't work, that's not my problem. I'll just call the manager to solve the problem. So if there is a problem, deal with it. That's not my trouble. Or I would also call a manager if the neighbors are too loud, they are having a party and they just interrupt me. To put it simply, I will call a manager of a hotel if I have some question for him or some problem to deal with, because that's the job of a manager. Another one. Under what circumstances would you sleep in a bus or train station? A few years ago, I was forced to rough it in a bus station. I was coming back from Prague in the Czech Republic and I missed the last bus home. So I had a few hours to spare and I decided to stay night in a bus station. I didn't sleep on the ground, but I went to the nearest bar, ordered something to eat. I had something small to eat and to drink, and I just waited for the first bus, by which I got home. But let's imagine a situation where I would have to sleep in a train or a bus station. So, if I go abroad for some long trip and I don't know, the snow covers the railway and the trains don't work, don't go because of the snow, I would be forced to spend a night in a bus, in a train station. So, but let's hope that situation won't ever happen. Moving to the last one. Under what circumstances would you wear casual clothes to work? Personally, in my work, wearing casual clothes is not an option because at my workplace there is a strict dress code which is required by the rules. So if I wear casual clothes, I won't be able to do my job. I would be sent home immediately to get changed. Alright, it looks like I've already answered all the questions. So, that's all for today and see you in the next video. Bye.